Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how I drew this cute little blue tit. I started with the eye as I normally do when it comes to drawing animals. I think the eye makes the drawing come to life. For the eye, I outlined with sepia and then I went in with a base layer of warm gray 10% and then went in with indigo blue, and to darken the eye up just a little bit more, I went in with a light touch of black. After the eye is finished, I started going around the eye using the same colors I did for within the eye itself, including blue since I could see a hint of blue in some of the dark feathers here. I then started on the top of the head, going in with warm gray 10% as the base layer, and then went over with beige in a few of the darker areas. After that, I used a cloud blue and then went over it with indigo blue since there were a few blue feathers on the top of the bird's head in the reference photo that I used. I then went in with light blue, Hello Blue from Faber-Castell, just to blend the feathers together on the back of the head nicely together. Then with Prismacolor white, I went in to make sure the white feathers stood out and didn't get lost within the blue feathers. After that, I went back in on the front of the bird's head with warm gray 20% and lilac purple just to add in some more shading into the feathers in that area. Now moving down the bird, I went in with light blue to map out the areas where the white feathers stopped and the yellow feathers would begin. After that is finished, I added a touch of blue in the white feather area just because in the reference photo it shows they blend together here. After that, I went in with 20% warm gray to add in some feather details. Now I'm going in with a mixture of yellow, grays, and indigo blue in the area between the white and yellow feathers because this part here is actually a dark strip of black feathers, but I didn't want to go straight in with black. I didn't do much on the bird's beak since it was dark on the bottom and blue on top, so I just continued to use the colors that I've mentioned before. I then continued working on building up the colors throughout the parts that I have worked on until I was happy with the outcome. Now moving down onto the belly of the bird. The belly was a nice bright yellow, and to get it the way I wanted, I started with the base layer of cream. And I should also mention in the center of the belly there was a black patch, so using warm gray 10%, I put that down so I knew where it was and it wouldn't get lost within the yellow feathers. Now back to the yellow feathers. I went in with light yellow and just mapped out the darker areas of where the light feathers blended into the next section. After that is finished, instead of going in with gray, I went in with light green. I find that green is a very good color to match with yellow when it comes to shading in darker areas. I just continued using different colors of greens to get the darker feathers just right, including yellow green and grass green. Remember to go in the correct feather directions and pay close attention to your reference photo. After putting down the green, I went over it with cadmium yellow to help blend the colors together and just darken up a few areas. I continued to use the same colors on the other side of the black patch, but this area was a lot lighter in some places, so I had to keep reminding myself to not go too dark in this spot. After I got the yellow feathers in place that I liked, I noticed I needed to go a little bit darker in some of the places, including the underbelly, so I took a deep breath and went in with a very light touch of gray. I then started with the center part of the belly. I started with indigo blue and then went in with black and then worked around that area with gray. I then went over it all with the same yellows to blend together the feathers and then went over it all with white. Starting on the back of the bird, I put down light blue as a base layer, then went in with dark blue, hello blue, and indigo blue to add in the shadows and feather details. Then after that, I noticed it needed to be a little bit darker, so I added in a touch of black in just a few of the areas. I even added a touch of green to a few spots and then added a touch of light blue in the yellow feathers to help blend everything together. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it helped you when creating a blue tit. Please leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you in the next video.